John, but I forgot to brush my teeth because I've been watching so much Trucker John show. Hey, I just want to tell everyone, make sure you watch the Trucker John channel on YouTube. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, he goes live. Have you heard about this Trucker John? He's on YouTube. He's got the Trucker John live stream going on, and you know what, man? I think it's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty cool.
The Trucker John channel on YouTube is what we watch. Yes, you must watch this show. It's every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. in the Pacific time. I suggest you watch it. You don't want to defy me. Believe me. Oh my gosh! Trucker John's gonna be coming on Tuesdays and Thursdays. By golly, that's at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, it's a Trucker John. Oh my goodness gracious. Yes, sir. I'm gonna watch that Trucker John. Maybe you should be checking out the Trucker John show over there on the YouTube. He goes live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Trucker John is so funny. Yeah, he does live stream Tuesday, Thursday, 9 a.m.
I don't know about this one. Just watch the Trucker John show. Live stream Tuesday, Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I don't know about this one. Hello there. I'm here to talk to you about the Trucker John channel It's on YouTube, and he likes to do these live streams. I don't know what's gotten into him, but I got a funny hat, I got a funny hat, a funny hat. I'm afraid this is what happens when you get a flat tire and you're waiting for the service truck to come out and fix your tire. You go on Snapchat and you can do all these filters and all these funny voices, and it's just what you do, I guess.
Yeah, I watch the Trucker John channel quite frequently, but I really don't want anyone to know.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Trucker John.
All right, there. Mic is on, right? Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Man, it's kind of warm in here in this room. I was going to crank the AC up beforehand, try to cool it down a little bit, because I don't like it running while I'm doing the show because it's really noisy. Anyhow, here we are. It is already April 18th. It is already, speaking of already, 71 degrees at 9:16. That's the highest temperature, I think, for this time of morning we've had in a long time. We're supposed to get a high of 89 officially. That means unofficially, all the backyard thermometer people are gonna say it's 95 today, or it's 99 today. Because the backyard thermometers aren't very accurate, I don't think, or maybe they're more accurate. I don't know than the official temperature. But according to this, high is 89. So we're getting warm, folks. Things are warming up here in Las Vegas. Good to see you. We got 13 watch and 14 thumbs ups. Nick Rich was first in the chat, looks like. We got Jolie. All right. Mod extraordinaire, I guess we could say. We got Carrie C's in here saying hello. Nick Rich is there. Pisces Greeter. Hello, Pisces Greeter. Good to see you. There's Seha is here. Holy crap. I'm sure with plenty of Fallout teasing about spoiling. I did watch 3 episodes last night of Fallout. The first 3 episodes. So I'm 3 episodes in, and I'm enjoying the show. I think it's pretty cool. A lot of suspension of disbelief. You just gotta enjoy the show. Just enjoy it. It is based on a video game after all. So what do you expect? But I like it. I enjoy it. Roxanne Arnfield's here. Good morning, everyone. Well, good morning to Roxanne. I don't believe I've ever seen Roxanne in the chat. So welcome to the chat room. And if you could give me a thumbs up, that'd be great. And if you want to subscribe, that'd be even more great or awesomer. But thanks, Roxanne, for being here. We got Carrie C, 56, Nick Rich, Doug G. Hello, Doug G. Haven't seen Doug G in a while, I don't think. I think Doug G's been here before. Correcto mundo on that. Doug G's been here, absolutely. But I don't think I've seen Doug in a while. Robert Perez, top of the morning to you, driver, and all trucklers out and about. Good morning to Robert Perez out there. Price Greeter, I saw the person who complained about me not commenting on chats and only greeting. I ignored them. Well, good for you. Just give them the old cold shoulder. Hey, Chris is there. Chris says hi. Well, hello back at you, Chris. MJ Daniel, different but fun. The show Fallout, you talking about? I like it. I really do like that Walton Goggins. You know what? I really love that guy. That's why, if you guys remember a few episodes back on the old Trucker John live stream here, I guess we call them episodes. Remember I was talking about my reimagining or rebooting of Gunsmoke, and I would have made Walton Goggins would have been like
wasn't like Festus. He was sort of like the sidekick guy with the limp, or well, there was actually like two of those sidekick dudes, or maybe more. And one guy had a really bad limp, and the other guy was just sort of like this, like old, and I was thinking, well, Walton Goggins could be that dude, but it would be awesome. Anyhow, let's see here. By Screener, also the same person ignored me. Oh well, life goes on. Just ignore each other and just move on. Don't worry about it. Julie says, like, subscribe, and share. There you go. Chris says, hey there, Pie Screener. Let's see. We got Seha says, I played every Fallout game. This series is perfect so far. All right, so Seha is a Fallout aficionado. I've never played the game. Oh, you know what? No, I don't think. I remember my son played it, I think. And I think I was watching my son play it a little bit because I remember going, hey, what is this? This looks kind of cool. And he kind of explained it to me. And I don't think I might have played a little bit with him one time, like a few years ago, years ago. And I thought it was a pretty cool game, but I don't really play games that much, or, I don't, so I don't know about it, but anyhow, it looks like a cool game, and the show is really cool so far. Andrea says, hey, hi, Al, just saying hi, driving President Biden coming to Tampa. I thought you were, driving him. Andrea has President Biden in the car, ladies and gentlemen. This is breaking news here. President Biden is being driven by Andrea down there in Tampa. Good morning to you, Andrea. To you, I guess it's afternoon now, huh? It's nooner. You got a nooner going. So have a safe drive down there. Vicky Accardi's here. Thanks, Vicky, for being here. Good morning to you. Seattle Judy, hey, Chester and Festus, hi all. Yeah, Seattle Judy, thank you so much for being here and reminding me of those names. Yeah, Chester and Festus. So wouldn't Walton Goggins make a great sort of combination of those two characters? I think he would. In my reboot of Gunsmoke, with The Rock as Gunsmoke. Sheriff Dillon, I guess it was, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger as Doc, and Scarlett Johansson as, I always forgot her name. I forgot her name again. What was her name? Miss Daisy or whatever. For some reason, I want to call her Miss Daisy, and I know you guys, Seattle Judy will correct me. The old, she's basically a hooker. Let's just be honest. Or she's a madam. But she had the hots for Marshall Dillon. I think they eventually, the show had been on for 20 years. I think finally, at the 20th year, I think they finally hooked up or something. But anyhow, so Walton Goggins would be my Festus Chester guy. But much more capable, like in a fight, than those guys were. Andrea says, no, laughing out loud, no, I'm driving Biden will be in Tampa. See, you're driving Biden. You've just said it again. Nick Rich says 12:22 p.m. here too. Pice Grease says, I'm sorry if I had something to do with the person that complained not coming on here anymore. Don't be sorry, and let's just move on. Miss Kitty, there you go, Seattle Judy, thank you. Yeah, Miss Kitty would be Scarlett Johansson, right? Wouldn't that be a great? And then Trucker John could be the bartender, I guess. I don't know. I think I could probably be a good bartender. I'd be in there, how they just get the rag and they're always cleaning the shot glass, and then they're coming up and whiskey, and then I just pour my whiskey. So I'm casting myself as the bartender, but who has a sawed-off shotgun, under the counter, and knows how to wield it in a scrap. Jolie, I'm riding with Biden. Yeah, Andrea's riding with Biden, and as we all should be. MJ Daniel, Miss Kitty ran the saloon, didn't she? Yeah, she ran the saloon, but I always thought she was like a madam. Maybe it was just my dirty little mind. Maybe it was just because she dressed, provocatively, I thought, kind of, in a 1880s kind of way, or whatever the year it was supposed to be. I thought it was just sort of like something they didn't really actually say, but it was like between the lines that she was running a brothel and she was the madam, but she ran the saloon. Technically, I guess she ran the bar. Maybe I'm just, like I say, dirty little mind. I'm thinking, oh yeah, she's got something going on upstairs. And in my version, she definitely would be. She'd definitely be a whore. A dirty, rotten little sexy whore, Scarlett Johansson. Roxanne Armfield, first thing I did, Sugar John. Well, thank you so much for the thumbs up and like, subscribe, and if you could share, hit the share. Share. So we got Gunsmoke reboot. Yeah, Nick Rich, keep up, man, keep up. I've been talking about my Gunsmoke reboot. Pice Greeter said, thanks, Scarjo, appreciate it. Oh, you're welcome. Andrea, I think Blake Lively would be perfect. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Blake Lively. Yeah, I'm still going with Scarjo. She's my first choice. But Blake Lively would be great. Yeah, good. That's a good one. Good call, Andrea. Good call. Seattle Julie says, did I say Julie? Did I just now say, did I call you? Oh, I apologize. Seattle Judy, sorry. Sometimes my mouth has a mind of its own. There you go. Put that one in your pipe and smoke at Hal Sparks with your kidney jokes. Seattle Judy, the bartender was Sam. Okay, so I would play the part of Sam, the bartender. I'm casting myself as Sam. Seattle Judy, you are a Gunsmoke aficionado. You earned today's moniker of a Gunsmoke aficionado. MJ Daniel says, everybody can be named Johnson like Blazing Saddles. Well, yeah, now you're making it into a comedy. This is going to be like a gritty, sort of, more of a hardcore kind of Gunsmoke, None of this mamby-pamby 60s TV shit. This is going to be the Netflix or Hulu version or whatever, Not Hulu, but whatever. Amazon Prime version, whatever. This is going to be the Amazon MGM Studios version. WW, it doesn't matter. What doesn't matter? WW, hey, thanks for coming in here with your just seemingly non sequiturs. MJ Daniel says gambling house. The saloon gambling house, because they had gambling. They were always, that's where Doc will have his ass parked there. I guess it was Doc and parked. See, I think my brain is just operating much faster than my mouth, and then my mouth is trying to keep up or something. I don't know. But that's where Doc would have his ass parked at a table in the corner playing cards. But he would have a double-barrel shotgun, like leaning in the corner behind him, always at the ready. Because in Gunsmoke, there's always bad hombres rolling into town. And sometimes even the Rock Dylan needs a little backup. And that's where Doc Arnold and Festus Walton Goggins, and even old Scarjo, Miss Daisy, Miss Kitty, is going to have a little derringer on her thigh, on her little what do you call it thing that goes around her leg, and then Stan the bartender has got the double barrel, got the sawed-off shotgun. So we're ready to go, man. We're ready for action. We're ready for action at all times. Let's see. We got 56 Nick Rich, Democracy Matters. Thank you for just throwing that out there. democracy does matter. So does voting. Voting matters. Elections have consequences. Marcus Mills passing back through. Well, thank you, Marcus, for being here. Thanks for passing back through. Good to see you. Andrew says, okay, be right back. Got to drive listening. All right. You drive careful. Pisces reader, imagine that another juror was dismissed from idiot Trump's trial. Can't he ever shut up? I think, you know how they issue a gag order? And it's just like a term, gag order. I think they really need to actually put a fucking gag, a real gag in his mouth. Maybe lock him up like they do Hannibal Lecter. Put him in on that dolly thing, and put a little cage around his mouth, and the whole. Of course, he would love that. MJ Down, directed by Tarantino. MJ, that's part of my dream is to at least have Quentin produce or executive produce with me directing and with me writing. And then Tarantino punching up the script, as they say. That's my dream scenario. Yeah, it would be a Tarantino, Trucker John joint effort. Seattle Judy says, you can call me Julie. Many people do that. Well, I apologize. That was just my mouth doing its own thing. That was my mouth having a mind of its own. Big Hook. Hey, there's Big Hook. Alive and still kicking, I see, John Fowler. How's your knees after your last exploit? The knees aren't too bad. Yesterday, all I did was I didn't leave the apartment. My ass was sitting and just watching TV, and I didn't even drive last. I was gonna drive last night. I really was. And then it just kept getting later and later in the day, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna rest. I don't even feel like going out. So I didn't even drive last night. And I just watched Fallout, and I watched some TV and stuff. And but my left knee is a little I don't know. It's okay. It's just a little sore, and it's mainly like my feet and my ankles, to tell the truth, that are kind of the worst. So, and I know people are gonna say get some Rockports or whatever. But I think I just bought some really good shoes. Maybe I don't know, but it's when you have 300 pounds of weight on top of your ankles and your feet that's the issue more than just the shoes. And I got some pretty good shoes. So maybe I'm gonna keep walking, and I'm gonna try to, get a little more exercise in, and maybe even hit the treadmill over here. There's a treadmill here at the place where I live, and just try to hopefully maybe shave off a few calories, and maybe that'll take less stress off the knees and off the ankles and off the feet. But thanks for asking, by the way. And I think we'll do another walk, maybe over the weekend sometime. Hopefully, we'll do. Cause today's Thursday. I mean, we could do it tomorrow. I could do one tomorrow, or maybe sometime over the weekend. We'll pick up where I left off, right on Sahara Avenue. And I was thinking about walking by the Strat. There's the new Atomic Golf right next to it. We'll just kind of look at that, and then walk down Main Street down to the Arts District, which is kind of sketchy. I might need that sawed-off shotgun. You guys saw, if you were watching, I got propositioned on the last one, which I didn't mind. I mean, it's kind of like, what do you call it? Flattery. It was kind of flattering in a way, because here I am, this old fat dude, and out of all the people who were walking, this young lady who I'm pretty sure was a working girl, either that or she just has a thing for old fat dudes. But she was like, "Hey, let's party, let's go. Like, me and my girlfriend's up here, join us," and all this kind of stuff, And if you didn't hear it, she mentioned that she thought that it looked like I had a very big part of my anatomy. Let's just say that that's below the waist. She did say that. It's hard to hear it on the thing, and that's when I said, "Oh, thank you for the compliment." So anyhow, if I can get propositions up there on the strip, up on that area, who knows what's going to happen when I walk to the Arts District? Because the Arts District itself isn't too bad, but there's a few streets between getting there that might be a little sketchy. So you don't want to miss that, because who knows? I may get mugged or something. I wish I could carry a sawed-off shotgun sometimes. Pice Greer says, Seattle Judy, you can call me Teresa, just not late for dinner. Pice Greer, so true, Chris, I am with you. How long before Rashawn locks his ass up? I am praying for that. Just lock his goddamn ass up. He thinks he's so untouchable. Trump thinks he's he can, he's not going to learn, and he probably will never ever learn. This man will never learn. But still, lock his fucking ass up. We're so sick of his shit. WW says, not many girls in the Wild West. Yeah, they used to have to, like, bring them in on stagecoaches and promise them, I guess, really good wages. And bring them in from the East Coast out to Dodge City. Her garter. Thank you, Judy. Seattle Judy. Her garter. Yes, that's the thing around her leg. And you can put a little derringer in there, see? And also, I could see, like, if the shit's really going down, bartender Sam would have an extra shotgun, and I could just see, like, doing the cool, like, tossing the shotgun to Miss Kitty there, because the derringer's only worth about two shots. Anyhow, Big Hook says, hugs and kisses, Teresa. Pice Grader, I feel Trump needs a dog muzzle. Yes, he needs something. I would just toss his, I would say, if I was the judge, I would go, defendant Trump, or whatever the fuck they say, one more peep out of you, and you're going to be tossed in a holding cell, or something like that. They need to buckle down on the motherfuckers, what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say in my own little way. Chris says, a ball gag and some duct tape. Yeah. W says, don't hate me, but the back door was open all night last night. Well, hey, it's your life. It's your house. It's your life. Just don't come crying to me if someone comes in during the night and murders you or something. Or robs you blind or whatever, I mean, that's on you. You got no one to blame but yourself at this point. Midas Kevin Anderson, hug Jolie. Oh, there's Midas Kevin. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on by. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for me on the way in. Vicky Cardi says, half Deadwood, half fistful of dollars? Maybe. It might be a combination of a lot of things, huh? Let's see. Pice Greer says, good one, Chris, but laughing out loud, but so true. Pice Greer says, my daughter and husband and I cannot stand Trump, so it's nice we all agree. Helps a lot. I can't stand him. And it's not just a matter of not standing him. I mean, the guy is actually, like, intimidating jurors and tainting the juror pool, with the shit that he comes out with. And, it just needs to stop. It just needs to stop. No one else would be allowed to do that. I couldn't go into court and act like that. So they stop with the special treatment. The guy's gotten enough special treatment his whole life. Just stop it. Judge Mershon, just stop it. Throw his ass in the holding cell. I'm sure they have holding cells they can stick his little ass in. And it's not little. Big Hook says, Jay Jolie, my Hoosier. WW, Brooks and Oofus, whatever that means. Midas Kevin says, I'm a playwright, John, and my dad majored in journalism in ISU, and my friend Megan Bingard majored in journalism from U of I, so now writing is in my veins. Oh, that's awesome. I also have dabbled a little bit in writing myself. I won an award for writing. Now this is in my later years. I was in my late 30s, I guess, when I did this. Was it? Yeah, I was. I think 38 years old. I went back to school. I was thinking about getting a teaching credential, and I only have an AA degree. I never did get my BA. And so, anyhow, I went back to a junior college in Antelope Valley to take some courses that were transferable to work, because they had a UC Bakersfield satellite campus at that same campus. So anyhow, I was taking some courses there, and I ended up getting into journalism. And we had so I took this journalism course that was taught by Dennis Anderson, and hopefully he's still alive. I don't know, but at the time, Dennis Anderson was an AP writer, and he was an AP bureau chief at Los Angeles. He was the AP Los Angeles bureau chief, AP Associated Press, right? And then he would later go on to be the editor in chief of the Antelope Valley News, which, you might say, what's that? It's not the LA Times or the New York Times, but it's a pretty good sized paper, and that's where he lived, and so he ended up getting a job out there, and that's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big circulation, like, I don't know, I think it's 200,000 or 300,000 daily circulation and all that kind of stuff. Anyhow, he was the teacher for this journalism course, and he also was the admin, what do we call it, for the school newspaper. And what he would do is he would recruit basically people from the journalism class to go work in the school newspaper, and that's how I ended up working on the school newspaper as a writer. And I was like a sports writer, because they operated this. He operated this school newspaper just like he would a real newspaper. So we had like our editor in chief. And then we had the editors for each department, because there was like a news department, a sports department, an entertainment department. We had our own like cartoonists, all that kind of stuff. We had a photographer that was he was our photographer. And so I was a sports writer. So I started doing sports. I covered baseball games, basketball games, football games, all that shit, you name it. And for the college. And then on my own, I had seen that there was a flyer about Jocelyn Elders. She was the former, what do you call it? The Surgeon General under Clinton. And she had just written a book, and she was doing a book tour, and she was doing a like a lecture or whatever on her book up at Bakersfield, at Cal State Bakersfield. So I just went up there on my own, covered the event. I took notes, I did everything. I was able to do, after the show, she was doing a little press meet where she was taking, she would do like these little one-on-one interviews with whoever was from the press. So I went in there, I had my press credentials and everything. And so I did a little interview with her. And then I wrote the story. And I wrote this really big story covering this whole thing about Jocelyn Elders. And then that story was submitted by Dennis Anderson to the Journalism Association. What's it? It's JACC. I think it's Journalist Association or something of community colleges or whatever. But basically, it's for all of California, and I think Arizona is in that also. But all the community colleges and junior colleges for the whole state and Arizona have these awards, and my story won first prize best news story. Which and at that time, I think our school had been around for 75 or 80 years, and that was the first time in the 75 or 80 years of that school's history that anyone had won first prize news story. First prize news story was like the biggest award at these awards. It's like winning best picture or something at the Oscars. That's how Dennis Anderson described it in his write-up that he did on it after I had won. So I won that. I won first prize news story. First time in the school's history ever doing that, winning the most prestigious award at these awards that go on every year. So I won that. So that's my little writing history. And then I went on and I was a stringer for the Antelope Valley News. I did some stringing for them, just basically sports. I think I did cover a couple of other things, but mainly sports, baseball, football mainly. I did that for a few years as a stringer. And I enjoyed doing that. I was covering high school football. Especially, I really enjoyed covering high school football. And then I also was taking some film classes a little later. Now, I never did get my BA, and that whole thing fell apart. I became a truck driver and all that kind of shit. But I also took some a screenwriting class. And in that class, I wrote a screenplay. And then I think I took the follow-up course the next year. Basically, it was just you write a screenplay and then you critique it, and the other students critique it. You do sort of like read-alongs or readings and stuff. And it's kind of a cool class. So I think from that class, I think I took 2 semesters. I'm not sure, but each semester I wrote a screenplay, and then I wrote another screenplay. So I've written 3 screenplays, and I haven't really written a screenplay since then. And this is back in the early 2000s, I guess. And one of them was called what the hell did I call it? It's called, I can't remember the name of it now. But anyway, I wrote it, and I won 3rd place in a screenwriting competition at a film festival. So, I too have a little thing for writing. Not as good as, not as getting an actual degree from a university like you did, Kevin. But I also have, sort of a passion for writing and everything. WW says, how many times have you been to Las Vegas? I don't know who you're talking to, WW. Pice Greeter says, having company this weekend. My brother-in-law, he comes to visit 2 to 3 times a year. And nice, he makes an effort for my hubby. That's good. WW says, I thought that you get prepositioned in all the time. Well, you thought wrong. Pice Greeter, lock him up with handcuffs and muzzle. Sounds good. Yeah, I agree. Ricky Accardi, make him sit in isolated room, watch on CCTV. Yeah, they need to stop treating him so kindly. MJ Daniel, who would be Festus? Well, that's what I was talking earlier. Maybe you missed it. Walton Goggins would be Festus. And if you don't know who Walton Goggins is, he was Shane in The Shield, if you ever saw The Shield. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. He's been in Tarantino movies. He was in Django Unchained, and he was in The Hateful Eight. He's in the Righteous Gemstones. Have you ever watched that? The HBO show about televangelism. And he's like the brother or the brother-in-law or whatever. He's been in a million things. So you can Google him, Walton Goggins. It would be a great Festus, in my humble opinion. Hey, there's Salt Lake Snow Bunny. I don't think I've ever seen Salt Lake Snow Bunny, so thanks for being here. Welcome. At Midas Kevin, hey you, I'm going to my next class. Hey, you have a nice day. Well, you have a nice day. Thanks for being here. I hope you gave me a thumbs up. Pice Greeter says, if it was a regular everyday person, they would have been. Yeah, that's right. You're right. That's what. Ichabod Deer is here. Thanks, Ichabod Deer. Hopefully Merrick Garland retires. And then who would he be replaced with? Who would Biden put in there? That is the question. The line is toppled, so somebody was back there, probably a cat. In your backyard, something fell over. I guess you're trying to say something fell over. A sculpture of a line. I guess whenever WW posts stuff, we have to decipher it. Salt Lake Snowbody says, hey, Midas told me about your channel, new subscriber. Well, thanks. Thank you, Midas Kevin, and thank you, Salt Lake Snowbody, for being here. I hope you stick around. I hope you keep coming back. Midas says, I hope you do good. Big Hook says, the sooner the trial begins, the better, although the thought of Trump being forced to sit there while they sort it all out is fine by me. I just think he needs to stop intimidating jurors, for one thing. WW, a raccoon. Okay, a raccoon, I guess, knocked something over. Saddle Julie says, I do kind of think Miss Kitty was a hooker. Her saloon was called the Long Branch. And she would definitely be a hooker, or at least a madam. I think she would have ascended to the rank of madam. So we would have a few, cute looking working girls, sauntering about. Yeah, kind of like was it Pisces Greeter said, or whoever it was that said that it'd be kind of like Deadwood in a way, but not. Yeah, it would be kind of like that maybe. I don't know. Salt Lake Snow Bunny says, "My name is Kevin Anderson. I got to go now. Thanks, sweetie." Well, thanks for being here. Hope you come back. We're here usually every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. 9 a.m. in the morning. There's all kinds of different times. That's hard to tell them all, but I hope you come back. Pisces Greeter says, welcome Salt Lake Snow Bunny to Trucker John channel and chat enjoy. I'm seeing all kinds of messages being redirected. Oh, you know what? I'm not in all messages. That's a cardinal sin. So anyhow, Ichabod Deer says, anyone might be better than Garland. No soft talkers, please. Yeah, he just, you know how they say, like, I don't know what they say, but the perception of that guy, it is very, to me, it's very off-putting to me. And I've heard people say that know him, that, in real life, he's a real, I don't know, good judge or whatever, and he's a hard worker, and he doesn't mess around, and he does everything by the book and all this kind of shit. And that's all fine and dandy, but, I think perception or the way you carry yourself or the way you project yourself is very important, especially in a position like that. It's very, it's very visible. People are watching. People, when he comes out to speak, he's in the news. You can't be this mamby-pamby little milquetoast. That's whenever I hear that guy talk, that's what I think. I just think, what a mamby-pamby little milquetoast. Now, maybe, like I say, behind the scenes or in court, maybe he's a fucking animal, But you don't see that in any of his press conferences or anything like that. All you just think, meekness and like this guy's a pushover, and maybe that works in court. That because you can have people underestimate you, but I think he's kind of like a spokesperson for the Justice Department. You got to be a little more. You got to be a little forceful. You got to have. You can't just be a. This is my impression of America. There, and scene. Price Reader says, I wonder if Trump was never told while growing up got spoiled. Oh, well, yeah, there's a lot of shit growing up that I think kind of fucked him up or something. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know much. I've just heard maybe like Hal Sparks talk about how his parents didn't love him or something. I don't know. Who knows? Whatever it is, the guy's fucked up and he's not fit for office. He's not fit to be president, that's for sure. Never was, and he certainly isn't now. Mr. Spock's here. Okay, Mr. Spock, you get one of these. I'm trying my best. I don't know if you can see. Live long and prosper. Mike McAndrews says, right, John. I'm not sure what that was referring to because it's I'm reading this probably 10 minutes later or whatever. But I'm in total agreement that I'm right. You go, dear, exactly my thoughts of Garland. Yes, very mamby-pamby, milk toasty. But like I said, maybe he's not when he's actually in court or when he's actually investigating or whatever, and maybe that's a good ploy or to have people underestimate you. But when you're coming out in front of the cameras and you're being a spokesperson for the Department of Justice, you need to be a little bit more aggressive, I think. Just a tad bit more. Let's see here. So people are, just Julian W. are answering this question. I guess he'd asked oatmeal or Captain Crunch. For some reason, just threw that in there. You know what? I like oatmeal, but I have to doctor it up with lots of butter, lots of sugar, lots of brown sugar. I like putting raisins in it, and then lots of brown sugar, and then maybe some more brown sugar, and then stir it all in, mix it all up, and then maybe put some more brown sugar on it, and then I like it. Captain Crunch, I really do love Captain Crunch, but except for how it tears the fuck out of the roof of your mouth. If it wasn't for that, I would probably be eating Captain Crunch every day. But I can't remember the last time I ate Captain Crunch. It's probably been a couple of years because every time I do, I think the time goes by and I forget how bad it is for the roof of your mouth. And so I buy it and I'm like eating it. And then my mouth is like fucking ragged, So that's my issue with Captain Crunch. Rose Blake, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe and all that good stuff. For me, Michael McAndrews, enough of the oatmeal for me for a while. I haven't had oatmeal in a long time. And the thing about oatmeal is that whenever I have oatmeal for breakfast, maybe I'm just going to throw it out there. Maybe it's because I get such a sugar rush off of it from all the brown sugar that I really crash hard in about 2 hours. I mean, I crash hard. Like I'm going to faint kind of thing. And I have to get some kind of food in me or else I'm going to faint. And it always happens when I eat oatmeal for breakfast. But if I eat like eggs and bacon and toast, like my normal breakfast is bacon and eggs and hash browns and toast, orange juice and coffee. That's sort of my normal breakfast. And if I eat that, then I'm good for like 4 or 5 hours before I have to eat again. But if I have oatmeal, let's say an oatmeal breakfast for me would be oatmeal and, with all the stuff I put in it, like I just said. And then usually a side of toast or a bagel, toasted bagel. Of course, coffee and orange juice. That would be my breakfast. And I'm usually, like I say, about 2 hours later, I'm like having like a blood sugar crash or whatever you call it. And where I have to eat within like 5 or 10 minutes or I'm going to like pass out. So that's why another reason why I don't really If I'm gonna eat oatmeal, I know that I'm already thinking, okay, in 2 hours from now, I better be near some food, or else I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna pass out. So W, you were asking the question, oatmeal or Captain Crunch, as a way of deciding what to eat? Wow. Roseblake says, don't let those soft-spoken men fool you. They can be deadly. Well, that's the point I was trying to make, that maybe that shit works in court, in actual court, because people will underestimate him. That's what I was talking about, being underestimated. But I'm also saying that when you are the spokesperson for a department, and that's going to be in the news all the time, and you need to project, I think, a better image for the department. It's not just about this whole, fooling people. You can do that in court, but you don't do that when you're the spokesperson. You need to project a much stronger image for the department, which is part of the U.S. government. Mr. Spock says, I found out I can eat sugar with both hands. I must be ambidextrous. Ba-da-boom. Vicky Riccardi, okay, I'm waiting for Garland to perk up. Rose Blake says, John Wick hardly speaks at all. Okay, we're talking about a fictional character and where we see all the physical stuff that he does. Okay, so that's not really a very good comparison. Okay, we don't see what Merrick Garland does behind the scenes, and I don't mean like actually kicking ass, but we don't see how aggressive or smart or savvy he is behind the scenes in handling cases, or or whatever he was when he was a prosecutor, or whatever he was doing, wherever he came from in court, through his court practice or whatever. We don't see that. All we see, the general public, is when he's in front of a microphone at a press conference, and how he speaks, and how you can barely hear him, and how he's so mild-mannered and meek. That's all we see. But John Wick, we see what he does. We see him kick ass. Okay? So it's a false comparison. Yeah, I figured that out, Michael. I figured that out. That he was deciding what to eat for breakfast. I just think he should decide that on his own. I don't think he should do like a survey in the chat. W, I'm back at the computer eating Captain Crunch. Or eating Crunchy Captain, whatever. Okay, so just be aware that the top of your mouth, the roof of your mouth is going to get raked. Rose Blake, just making a point, John. And yes, and I counterpointed your point, saying that it's a false comparison. Because John Wick, like I said, we see what he does physically. So his not speaking is a moot point, because we don't see what Merrick Garland does behind the scenes. We don't see how maybe that he's a kick-ass attorney or whatever. We don't see that. And also, it's not that Merrick Garland doesn't speak. He does speak, but he does so in a very just milquetoasty kind of way. Ichabod Deer says, Garland delayed hiring a special prosecutor for over a year. He was scared of making it all political when the law is the law. Well, maybe he overthunk it. I don't see Garland kicking ass at all. Chris says it's scary when I'm quiet, or so I'm told. That's one thing about Merrick Garland. He does not evoke any fear in me, or he doesn't evoke any image of like, oh my God, this dude, watch out. Look at him being all silent, all stoic and silent. I don't see that at all when I see Merrick Garland. Vicky Accardi, cover. Cover what? I don't know what that means. Mad Max here, Slava Ukraini. Slava Ukraini, back at you, Mad Mac. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Michael Manager, that's okay with me, W, if you're custom typing. Ichabod Deer says Garland has his very own Federalist Society webpage. He gave symposiums there with Sidney Powell, him and her. She is a loony. Yeah, I know. This is the first time I'm ever hearing that. I never heard that before. Michael Mann's dang keyboard. Oh, blame the keyboard. Menace comes, hi Mac. So yeah, I mean, but anyhow, that's just my opinion. We're all entitled to our own opinions. I think Merrick Garland, I've never really liked his style. I've never liked how he's mamby-pamby. This is me. This is my impression. Just mamby-pamby milquetoast. And, you know, and he's been, like people have mentioned here in the chat, really slow walking this shit. Way too slow for my liking. And I know at first they were saying they need to investigate, they got to make sure all their I's are dotted and their T's are crossed, and blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. And I understand that. I understand these things take time. But my God, are they taking time? Rose Blake, about dear, imagine how bad society would be without Garland. Boy, that's a really heavy statement. So Garland has saved society. I think what we're saying, or what I'm saying, is that I think there were probably better choices, better picks to be the AG out there. But hey, it's all water under the bridge. I mean, he's there, he's been there. So all we can do is move on and start from today, I guess, and see what happens. And things are moving along now. I mean, you know, we've got Trump in court. So we'll see how things go. Yeah, W says Obama chosen for being middle of the road. Yeah, and it was like that was gonna be his SCOTUS choice, and they wouldn't even take him as SCOTUS because he thought that he would be middle of the road enough that even Mitch McConnell would go along with it. But they wouldn't even let him. They were just Mitch McConnell and the Republicans were just anti-Obama. Anything he wanted, it's like Obama could have appointed. Or could have wanted to appoint Mitch McConnell. And Mitch McConnell would have said, hell no, you know. Not going to do it. Nah. But, I mean, just think of, Obama could have wanted to appoint, I don't know, just think of some right-winger or whatever. And they still would have said no. Because they were just on a mission to do everything the opposite of what Obama wanted. And that's why I kind of resent when I hear people bash Obama. Obama got some things done with a total Tea Party Congress. Remember the Tea Party that rose up in 2010? Remember when the Democratic voters didn't show up in 2010? and they allowed the Tea Party to take over? Do you guys remember that? So next time you want to bash Obama, why don't you look in the mirror? And I'm pretty sure everyone in this chat voted, but there were so many people that didn't vote, that didn't even show up to vote, that they allowed the Tea Party to take over. And the Tea Party is the precursor to MAGA. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all you Democrats, registered voting Democrats, that didn't show up in 2010. You sat on your fucking asses because you didn't think things were going fast enough, or blah-de-la-de-la-de. You didn't think that Obama had waved his magic wand and changed the world overnight. So you sat home like little crybabies and you allowed the Tea Party to take over. And then that has led to MAGA. Thank you very much. Stop bashing Obama. He did a fucking fantastic job for what he had and what he was going up against. That's all I got to say about that. Hedge Enemy's here. Proto MAGA. Thanks, Hedge Enemy, for being here. Good to see you. Ichabod Dear, Clarence Thomas is a government employee taking bribes from Harlan Crow. You know, Ichabod Dear, okay, so you say Garland could have had Clarence Thomas arrested for taking bribes from Harlan Crow. Do you know that? Are you a lawyer? I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. I'm not going to make a comment about that. I don't know what he can do and what he can't do. We can just, you know, it's funny how we can just throw stuff out there. I don't know if he could arrest him or not. In order to remove him, he has to be impeached. I know that much. Michael Andrews says, yep, John, I agree. I'm just reading that because I like to at least see that one person agrees with me. Thank you, Michael. Hedge Enemy says, well, I don't get everything I want. Ichabod Dear W, nonsense, it's Garland's job. Obama was great. He had to contend with GQP, MAGA, Senate, and House from 2010 to 2016. No, it was called the Tea Party back then. Michael Medina's right hedge. Uncle Joe is Garland's boss. Yeah, no shit. About Dear W wrong. W says thousands of dollars worth of private jets. Think about Dear senators can be impeached and arrested too. Yes, they can be. WW says, what is free when friends are involved? Dear Menendez will lose his seat because he was arrested, doesn't need impeachment. Yeah, he's going to lose his seat because he's a piece of shit. But do you not see why Merrick Garland, now I sound like I'm defending the guy. Okay. I think he's a mamby-pamby milquetoast, but also, do you see how, I mean, just when they're going after Trump right now, and he's had 91 felony counts, against him. So I think it's all legitimate. But even with that avalanche of charges against him, Trump is still saying that they're weaponizing the DOJ. That's his defense. So can you imagine though, like, sort of the hesitation? Can you see why there's a hesitation of charging a Supreme Court justice? And how the right-wing media does have such a huge blowtorch that if you arrested Clarence Thomas, there would be so much propaganda put out, or so much just bullshit put out about how this is a weaponization of the DOJ or whatever, you know? And they're just coming after Thomas, not because of anything legitimate, but because they're weaponizing the law, they're weaponizing the department to get rid of conservatives. That's how they would frame it. So you can see why there's a hesitation of just arresting senators or Supreme Court justices or former presidents or whatever. They're taking that into consideration of how it's going to be turned around on them. So they have to be really, really certain and careful, I think. And with Trump, they've had no choice, because he just keeps criming and criming and criming. They had to come after him. But I do believe that Thomas should be removed from the SCOTUS. Definitely. I think he's definitely compromised. We can see all the stuff he's taken. Whether that's, Merrick Garland, pressing charges against him or what, I don't know. But it is kind of dicey ground, I think. Vicky Cardi says 100% TJ, and stop bashing America. Running down our country hurts everyone, including themselves. Ikabadir says, and if the charges stick, conviction. Tim Farrell says he would not have to complain about Garland if Mueller did his job. I think Mueller did do his job. I mean, I guess he did. I guess there were things where he said weren't under his purview, and people were saying, why didn't you look this up or do that or whatever? And I guess he took this very narrow scope of what he thought he was supposed to do. And people are saying he didn't go out wide enough, right? But Mueller found a lot of shit, a lot of Russian collusion and things of this nature. WW says, usually they humor me and let me pay for something. I did pay for parking. I don't know what you're talking about. Go on, dear Tim Farrell. Garland could give us a Mueller report without redactions. Nothing is stopping him. That would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice. Ikabadir, Supreme Court, still just a citizen. That's true. I mean, they are a citizen, and they are subject to the laws of this country. That's absolutely true. Vicky Cardi, Tim Farrell, Bill Barr blocked him. Bill Barr did a lot of obstruction there. Yes, absolutely. Think about the DOJ under Garland is, for the most part, a failure. That's why Trump blabbers on and on and on. Trucker John, Julie says Trucker John, channel membership, super chats, and you can support the show by subscribing, liking, sharing, and you can buy me a coffee. Thanks, Jolie, for putting that reminder up. Big Hook says, the problem is Garland has to deal with all the swamp monsters in the DOJ from all the previous Republican presidencies. The DOJ needs a major cleaning overhaul. Giuliani knew that as well. W says there was a packet. Jared took it from the Russians and brought it to Trump. Yeah, Jared was being a carrier. I guess after they got rid of that other dude, what was his name? Carter Page or whatever. Then I guess Jared became the new mule, maybe. I don't know. Mad Max says, Thomas does not follow the rule of law. He follows the rule of dollar. Impeach now. I think he should be impeached. But I think, we're talking about, Ichabod Deer is talking about filing charges or arresting him or whatever. Yeah, and on the surface, that seems logical. That seems like, hey, Michael McAndrews, thank you so much for the $20 super. Is that a super chat? Thanks for being you. Well, thank you for that. That's very nice of you. Very kind. Thank you so much. But okay, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. I think we saw how kind of fragile, in a way, and also but also on the other side of the coin, how I guess tough our democracy is, and keeping the democracy together on January 6th, right? I mean, the way I look at that could have gone either way. I mean, if they had run that, if the Jan 6ers hadn't been so stupid, maybe, or, I mean, I think they were very, very close from having a total capitulation or you know, a coup or whatever. So these things, and we saw just how, okay, Trump doesn't give a fuck how many people get hurt, as long as he gets what he wants, as long as he gets to remain in power and enriches himself. And I don't even think he realized how much power that the office of the presidency has just by even just speaking. That every word that comes out of that man's mouth, or any president, how everyone is listening all across the world, especially here in America. How people are listening to every word that comes out of his mouth, to the point where these Trump fanatics, will do whatever he says. And I think we have, in a general sense, if we see, I mean, yeah, it would be gratifying to me and to many people here in the chat. I think to many people who really give a fuck about America and democracy, if we saw Clarence Thomas being arrested, or being charged at least, with, you know, accepting bribes, that would be, I think I would like that. But I think that people like Merrick Garland and even President Biden or whoever are walking this kind of tightrope of, you know, how much can the American people take, and how much will it get spun to just look like the country is all a mess, the government is all a total shit show. It's a shit show, not a fuck show. Fuck show is a whole different thing. A shit show. You know what I mean? I mean, we have to have some sort of, at least, illusion of having our shit together. You know what I mean? And so, but I mean, I understand, and it's really easy for us to say, like, just arrest or charge Thomas for taking bribes or whatever. I think there's probably enough there. I mean, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, but I think there's always this balancing act of trying to, you know, present to the American people that things are fine. We're not on the verge of, you know, falling apart. You know, just relax, stay calm, go shopping, stimulate the economy or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think I guess my point is I don't think it's as easy as we might think it is to do all these things. But maybe it is. Maybe it is very easy. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm just spitballing here. Michael McAndrew says, that John, and Trump knows better. He is totally responsible. Jolie says, I wouldn't feel comfortable eating $100 per person meal no matter who paid for it. Wait, what a waste of money. I guess I missed some stuff here. About the $100 per plate thing here. Yeah, W says if the bombs had worked, the day would have been different. Yeah, or just if they had managed to get a hold of Pelosi, if they had managed to get a hold of Pence, I really think they would have killed them, and I really think they would have. And if they had gotten into find where the bunch of the senators or Congress people were hiding, and they would have held them as hostages to get what they want or whatever. Who knows? You know, I mean, it could have gone down so worse than it did. Big Hook says, stop giving Trump a soapbox and megaphone. MSM is failing. Yeah, especially, I think it's especially, like Fox News, and that's what they're going to do. But you're right. They give him billions of dollars really in free airtime. Let's see, I'm trying to get to a lot of these chats. We're kind of just repeating stuff we've already talked about. Just sort of... let's see. Hey, there's Terry Taylor. Hi, Terry Taylor. Good to see you. Thanks for being in the chat. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for me and all that good stuff. Get us out there in the algorithm. Hey, we're at 1,688 subscribers, so we keep moving along. We're growing and growing and growing. And I want to appreciate you all for being here. It's because of you guys being in the chats and giving me the thumbs ups and getting the sharing the show. It's because of you guys that the show is growing. We've gone from just like a year ago or so, I guess, of just having like less than 200 subs, I guess. And now we're at 1,688, so thank you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, so thanks for being here. Jolie's reminding everyone, please, no name calling. We can have disagreements. We don't have to agree, but on everything. But let's not name call. All right. So thanks, Jolie, for reminding me on that and reminding always. Sometimes I might call someone a name, but I'm the only one because this is my show. And usually, if I call someone a name, it's usually someone public. I don't call people in the chat names. I don't think. Maybe I have. If I have, I apologize. But like I'll call Trump a moron, or Moscow Mitch a Moscow Mitch, or whatever. But that's different. Those guys, they get paid to take that shit. But in the chat here, let's keep it civil. Like I say, you guys, you can have all kinds of opinions, and that's fine. And I love diverse opinions. I love that people share their opinions, and we don't have to walk in lockstep with one another. We can have different opinions, different viewpoints, and I know I'm a little guilty of. Maybe I won't call you a name, but maybe I might get a tone in my voice or something, and that might not be so nice. So I apologize for that. But let's just keep it simple. No name calling. Make your point without name calling. I guess that's the bottom line there. Chris says we're lucky they were so incompetent. Yes, and the thing is the next group that tries this, they might not be so incompetent. So we've always got to be on our guard, and we have to remain vigilant and all that good stuff. So because those guys, those on the other side there, those whack jobs like MAGA and whatever because like I said, it was the Tea Party. And then it was MAGA. And MAGA's gonna, once Trump goes down, MAGA is gonna disappear, but there's gonna be something else that's gonna replace it. And what will that be? And will they're gonna learn from the mistakes of MAGA, you know what I mean? So we have to keep learning how to combat things like MAGA. We can't let down. We can never let our guard down. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Big Hook says Milley, I guess General Milley, right, refused Trump's ask to use the Insurrection Act. The Capitol Police saved the day. That was a different thing. That was when he was tear gassing Black Lives Matter, right? That was a whole different thing. That wasn't the January 6th thing, I don't think. But maybe I don't know. Michael McJandrew says Trump has conned a lot of people into going along with his coup attempt. It's still very sick. It is very sick. It is very sick. I guess maybe the good news is that I don't think that group is as big as we think it is. Even then, and they've been peeling away, but even back then, I don't think it's as many people as we think it is. But it's enough people that if they get violent, it can cause a lot of turmoil. Real Bill P. Hey, Real Bill P's here. Thanks for being here. Trump is charging rep candidates that use his name 5% of their donations. I can tell you for a fact that the Republicans, like the establishment Republicans, they don't like Trump and they can't wait for him to go away. And they're just writing it out because, they're sort of in a predicament because Trump does have, the power of the media, I guess, the power of his position that he can kind of mobilize or at least get out the vote from the Republican side to like primary people and shit like that. But they're just waiting it out, and as soon as Trump goes down, then this establishment Republicans will try to regroup. Michael McAndrew says, I believe someday the USA will kick Trump's ass. Well, I think they're doing it now. I think he's going to get his ass kicked in court. Ichabod Deer says, Dim charged for mailing list in Louisiana. GQP, oh yeah, that's going by Liberal Dan was talking about this, right? GQP did not, Liberal Dan, okay, went into that last night. That was sad as fuck. Dems charged $2,000 for mailing lists. Yeah, that is sad, and I think the point of that was explaining why Louisiana is so fucked up. Now, I don't know how much of that goes on across the country. Maybe it's everywhere. I don't know. But I think Dan was kind of making the point if you're wondering why Louisiana is so fucked up politically, maybe that's why. Maybe it's because the Democrats aren't really working well together. Michael McAndrew says, I say don't fuck with the USA. Bicycle Mike's here. Morons running GQP. Thanks for being here, Bicycle Mike. I think that's the first post I've seen of you today. So thanks for being here. Ichabod Deer, happily voting Biden-Harris 2024, as am I. And I hope that everyone in the chat and everyone in the whole country will vote for Biden-Harris 2024. I think Biden has done a surprisingly great job. Because I got to tell you, when he was running for the 2020 election, he was way down on my list. I had replaced Bernie with Elizabeth Warren as my choice. And in retrospect, I mean, who knows what kind of president Elizabeth Warren would have been. And a lot of people, you probably say she'd be a horrible president. I don't know. I think she's a great senator, and I think she has a lot of great, especially like consumer protection type things and economic, type things. That's her wheelhouse. But I think Joe Biden has been so good. He knows foreign foreign policy. He knows domestic, everything. I mean, he's he's turned out to be a really great president and much more progressive than we ever thought he would be. And I think a lot of that is because of the popularity of Bernie Sanders. I think that when Bernie was running in 2016, I think it really kind of opened the eyes to a lot of Democrats about how many progressives there were out there. And so they have to take notice of that because they know that means votes. If you keep ignoring this like a huge segment, then you're not getting their votes. So I think that it kind of opened the eyes of a lot of Democratic leaders. Like even if Bernie wasn't going to win in the presidency, still him getting all the votes that he got in the primaries, he got millions and millions of votes, right, in the primaries. That was an eye-opener. And then in 2020, I think even though Elizabeth Warren I don't think she classifies herself as a progressive. She is very progressive, or at least very, very liberal. And she got a lot of votes, but she couldn't win any primaries for some reason. She got a lot of turnout in her campaign stops and her rallies and stuff. She got huge turnouts, but for some reason it didn't translate into votes. It seemed like, which was really odd, because she seemed like, I remember watching the news, her turnouts were enormous. But I don't know why it didn't translate into winning primaries. Anyhow, the point is, I guess I was trying to make a point that Biden was like, I remember at first there was like, wasn't there like 15 Democrats running or whatever it was? Whoops, I just wiggled the table. Or whatever, however many it was. And I think Joe was like 8th on my list or something, But then, of course, when he won the general election, I vote for the person who wins the general. Just like in 2016, I voted for Bernie in the primaries, and then I was only too happy to vote for Hillary in the general. And I really did think she was going to be a good president. I was really looking forward to a Hillary Clinton presidency. I really was. And I'm not drunk, as I was accused of, whatever it was, yesterday in some chat. Because I kind of said the same thing. I just now said that I thought Hillary would have been a great president. And I guess it was in Liberal Dan's chat, and some asshole accused me of being drunk or something. And I know that's kind of a joke, like probably wasn't accusing me of actually being drunk, but it kind of pissed me off because I wasn't drunk. and I say that totally sober. I think that Hillary Clinton would have been a great president. And that was me after supporting Bernie. Because I really don't think, and I know this is where you guys are going to think I'm drunk. I don't really think there's that much difference in policy positions between Bernie and Hillary. There's not. There's a separation of a few things here and a few things there, but overall, they are pretty much the same. And so is Joe and whoever you want to put up. I mean, when you talk about the Democratic. When you talk about Democrats, there really isn't that much difference between any of them, unless you're a Max Baucus or what's the one in Virginia now, Joe Manchin or something like that. Those guys are really weird, but they have to be because they come from weird states. They're Democrats in weird states, and by weird states I mean red states. So they have to be a little weird, I guess. But I think there's not really, like I said, like between Hillary and Bernie. I know Bernie's when he's not running for president, he's an independent. He's a Democrat. He says he's a Democrat socialist. He's not a Democrat. But still, there's not a whole lot of difference. There really isn't, in my opinion. When you take policy by policy, they're both pro-choice. They're both for probably. As far as healthcare, if they had their druthers, they'd probably be all for, Medicare for all. They just might be going at it in a different way, or they might be more willing to compromise in certain ways. But they still both believe in Medicare for all, I bet you. They both believe in pro-choice. They both believe in, higher wages. They both believe in, strong regulations in business and in capitalism. Not having reining it in a little bit. I mean, they topic by topic. I bet you they're not that far apart. And so anyhow, I don't know how I went off on that tangent, but so I guess I was just talking about how Joe Biden was low on my list, but then he became president, and we saw him right off the bat being compared to the new FDR. Boom, boom, boom. And he has, through his policies, through this the Inflation Reduction Act and the CHIPS Act and all that stuff, has created jobs, has brought back jobs from overseas, has these infrastructure projects, all these things. I mean, amazing job that he's done in these first few years of this administration. So yes, I guess as bottom line, yes, Biden-Harris 2024. Let's keep it going. Let's keep this economy going. Let's keep this new FDR thing going. Whatever, this new Biden deal, the Build Back Better, whatever you want to call it. I'm all for it. And let's keep the goddamn Senate. The Senate should not even be in play. Campaign on Roe v. Wade. Use Rovember to your advantage. So the Senate, because I keep hearing how we might not keep the Senate. That's fucked up. That's stupid. Don't be stupid. Just fucking run on Roe v. Wade, run on abortion, and I think you'll win. So we need to keep the Senate. We need to get the House back. And for the love of God, people, stop voting for Republicans. Okay, for the love of God, whatever the hell that means. Anyhow, okay, enough of my rant. Let's see, what are you guys talking about? Big Cook's talking about Ford and Nixon and all that kind of stuff. Rose Blake, I didn't see Liberal Dan. You missed a great show. Liberal Dan, the best show on the internet by far. Prove me wrong. Mr. Spock says, I keep missing Liberal Dan. Dusty Smith is on the same time. I've never watched Dusty Smith, but I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts that Liberal Dan is way better. I probably should watch Dusty Smith, though, before I make that bet. Let's see. Big Hook says, Bicycle Mike's doing a Kim Carnes song reenactment of It's a Heartache. Bicycle Mike, I am better, Jolie, thank you. Oh, well, hope you're better. I'm kind of jumping through the chat here, so I'm not exactly sure of everything that's going on. Fancy, you said you sent me a whatever. You said, never fear, I'll be here. And I was fearing. I was all the way till now. So now you're here. So now I'm no longer afraid. But better late than never. That's what my dad always used to tell me. Better late than never. So thank you for being here, Fancy. Let's see here. I'm just skipping down just to get it kind of caught up. With, skipping down. Bicycle Mike is indestructible. Michael McAndrews says, I have 7 stents, 4 in heart, 3 in legs. It really works. Dang blood thinners the rest of my life, though. Oh, wow. Well, thank God for, modern science and modern medicine, right? Mr. Spock says, hey, Bicycle Mike, part 2, it was a sheer heart attack or a knocking on heaven's door one. Let's see here. I'm just scrolling on down. Seeing if anything strikes my fancy in here. Terry Taylor, here, John. Ichabod Deer says, Dusty is a different show than Liberal Dan, not competition. Okay. All right. I still think Liberal Dan is the best show on the internet. Big Hook says, Dusty's a little too conspiratorial for me. Fancy, I'm here, yay. Absolutely, yay. Absolutely. Alvin Stube is also late. Hi, y'all. Well, hey, like I was telling Fancy, better late than never. So thanks for being here, Alvin. Good to see you. Make sure you give me that thumbs up, won't you? And hit the share button. Mr. Spock says, Dusty is like how, only quicker paced. And Julie's got a reminder here. Liberal Dan is on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central Time. 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Check them all out, Mondays and Wednesdays. Ichabod Deer says, whatever happened to that Canadian guy and his wife that disappeared? Dusty was analyzing that case because the guy was big-time Canadian MAGA. Yeah, I don't know if I'm even familiar with that at all. Real Bill P says, I told Dan that I will call in next Monday. I was thinking about calling in last night, even before everyone else started calling in. And then I was eating. I think I was eating, and I was like, well, I don't want to call when I'm eating. And then everybody else started calling in, and I was like, well, now the show's almost over. So I might call in next week just to say hi or something. I don't know. Mad Max says, in Canada, they take care of maggots. They let them swim with the fishes. Okay. Mr. Spock says, the French guy was on MDD, Modern Day Debate, an a-hole. Okay. Big Hook says, I think they were returned to Canada without their life savings. Huh. Oh, are you talking about the people that went to Russia? Wait, were those Americans or were they Canadians? The ones I'm thinking of. That moved to Russia because they thought it would be better over there for some reason. Even though Russia is being run by a dictator and where you really have no rights whatsoever there. And they found out the hard way, I guess. The people I'm thinking of. I don't know if they're the same people you guys are talking about. But they found out the hard way that Russia sucks. I'll just say that. Russia sucks. Russia sucks. Someone should write a song about that. They don't even... I don't even remember all my own words. I did write a song. I didn't actually... You know what? I never did write that song. There's a song that I sang that I made up on the fly one time a few years ago, about 10 years ago or however long it was, and it's called Russia Sucks. Just proving that I have not been on Russia's bandwagon probably ever. Fancy says Canadians. Big Hook says, yeah, Canucks farmer folk afraid of woke gay folks. MJ Daniels says Russia is a chaotic nightmare unless you have wealth and suck up to Putin. The other night I had some very interesting, a couple that were here from Poland, and they were on vacation, and they were telling me of this great vacation that they're taking. I guess they went to Tucson or something first, and then now they're in Vegas, and then they said they're going to go to LA, and then up to San Francisco, and then they're going to fly to New York, and then from there, I guess they're going home. And I told them, that's a great vacation. You're seeing all the major cities except for Tucson, but but Vegas is a major, destination location. LA, San Francisco, New York, those are like, other than maybe Chicago and Dallas, the LA, San Francisco, and New York are like, the three major cities of the country. And they're interesting. They're all very interesting. Not that Chicago and Dallas aren't, but I mean, there's lots of things you can see in LA that are kind of iconic. You can see like Hollywood, and you can see Santa Monica, the beach, the Hollywood sign or whatever. There's things to see. San Francisco, of course, like the Golden Gate Bridge is the first thing that comes to mind, and Alcatraz, and the Transamerica Building, and Lombard Street. There's all these things you can see. And then New York, of course, the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, Ground Zero, Broadway. And they even said they would like to see a Broadway play before they leave. All that kind of stuff. So those are great. If you're from Poland and you've never been to America, those are great cities to see, I think. And LA, San Francisco, New York, and Vegas for good measure. So at first on the ride, it was kind of a long ride. They had an Airbnb that was about 15 miles out of town, or 10 miles, or whatever it was. But it was a bit of a ride. So we were talking about their vacation, and then there was a little bit of a lull in the conversation. So then I brought up Ukraine, and I usually don't get political or whatever, and I'm not sure if this is necessarily political, but I just wanted to, because I knew Poland has been in the news and has been, they're like a neighboring country of Ukraine, and when the war first broke out, they were taking a lot of Ukrainian refugees, right? And so I just said, so how are you guys handling, the situation in Ukraine and everything? And so then we got into this conversation, a very nice conversation about how, they were totally supportive of Ukraine, and they see Putin as, well, then I said something about Putin being, a madman, right, and a dictator and all this stuff. And the guy told me, and this is a Polish man, so he's much closer to it than I am, right? This whole thing, and so he was saying, it's not just Putin; it's the whole Russian country that are just, and this is a lot of stuff that Phil Ittner talks about, and he said it's their whole mentality of Russia. He said they hate America, they hate like the American lifestyle, and they don't want to see that westernization, like coming to Ukraine and coming to their doorstep. And I was like, yeah, I can see that. But then I just made a comment about how, I think Putin really controls the media there, and so it's hard for the Russian people maybe to get, a more, objective reporting or viewpoint. And so that really plays into Putin's hand. So we had this conversation, and then he was saying, like, he was, what we really want to see is America get weapons and ammo to Ukraine, and we're really worried about that. And this is kind of a key thing that I was impressed with. Oh, there's something going on upstairs. Oh my God. He was saying that he specifically called out the Republicans and saying how, he said we are really concerned about Republicans holding up the funding for the weapons and for the ammo, and I appreciated the fact that he singled out the Republicans, because my impression of, like, from people from Europe and people from overseas is that they don't distinguish between Republicans and Democrats. It's just all the American political machine, or the political workings of America. It's all lumped together as one, and they don't really distinguish between these, how the Republicans are acting and how Democrats are acting and all that kind of stuff. But he did make that distinction. So that was kind of I know, encouraging to me that they realize, or at least this guy did. I don't know if he, it's kind of anecdotal, I guess, but he did distinguish that this was a Republican thing, that they were the ones responsible for holding up the funding, that it wasn't just the entire Congress, it wasn't, and it wasn't Biden, it was the Republicans. So this guy knows that, and if he knows that, then there's probably a lot more over there that know that. So anyhow, that was a good conversation that we had. Jolie's got the link to Russia Sucks, if you want to check that out. Mad Matt, Quake Tower, Golden Part. Yes, I didn't mention everything. Big Cook says, Poland is swinging back into reality after tossing out the government that abolished abortion and reinstating access to abortion and women's health care. Ichabod Deer, the party Duda represents, is on its way out, fortunately. Yeah. So hopefully they're getting back on track. Big Hook says, okay, gotta go. Tom Hartman at 2 times speed before Randy Rhoads. I'm really disappointed in you, Big Hook, because I'm much better than Tom Hartman. Hey, look, I speak the truth. So when I say that I'm better than Tom Hartman, then God damn it, I'm better than Tom Hartman. Anyhow, Michael McAndrews says, it was really bad to have the old KGB communist murder Putin get into power. Then we saw Putin go Nazi. Got Nazis. Michael McAndrews, as far as I'm concerned, Putin is a damn Nazi. Yeah, me too. I mean, whatever you want to call it, it's not good, whatever he is. He's a murdering bastard. How about that? I mean, he's horrible. He's a horrible monster. Just like Adolf Hitler was. So, I have no problem with you calling him a Nazi. Real Bill P says, look up the Russian money that pours into the Republican Party. Yeah. There's Russian money all over the place. Russian money has been pouring into Trump's coffers. Do you remember the report? I guess this was back around the 2016 campaign when, was it Eric or Junior was saying, yeah, we're getting all kinds of Russian money. They were getting Russian money. They've been getting Russian money for a long time. And why did Anthony Kennedy suddenly step down from SCOTUS? And isn't it odd that his son was a board of director or some sort of executive at Deutsche Bank? Man, oh man, all these little dots we need to connect. Michael McAndrews, thanks, John. NJ Daniel, that is what DJT admires about him. Yeah, because he wants to be like that. He wants to have that kind of autocracy, that autocratic power, And, when I think of Putin, I think of monster. I think of horrible, just monsters. And when I think of Trump, I just think of just disgusting. Just a disgusting, vile human being, And it's so funny because then the maggots would say that I have Trump, what do you call it? Trump derangement syndrome, because of what I said. But the derangement is on their end because they're the ones that worship the guy. And then they want to project on us that we worship Biden. And like I also said, it might have been in last night's dance chat, but I was just saying that we don't worship Biden. We don't deify Biden. We're happy about what Biden's doing. We like Biden. We think Biden's a good guy. I do, anyhow. I think Biden's a very good man. An honest, sincere, man. And I think he's doing a great job. I don't deify him, but that's what they do to Trump. They think he's the fucking second coming of Christ or sent here by God or whatever. They're the ones that say that shit. We don't say that shit. They're the ones that are fucking. So it's a lot of projection from MAGA and Trump. When he says, like, Biden's the worst president ever, that's projection because he's the worst president ever. Trump is the worst president ever. You know, it's kind of, it makes you laugh. Because if I wasn't laughing, I'd be crying, right? Real Bill P says, I was talking to Ms. Popok, whoever that is, I have no idea who that is, about the Russian porn money funneled to Trump from Putin. And then Wes Webb is giving us a rundown of, I guess, what he's doing. I don't know. Mad Mac, we trust Biden to do good for the USA. Trump is a low-life trailer trash moron. And I think that is a real you know, that's kind of you know, offensive to trailer trash people. MJ Daniels says, Dems don't wear Biden or Obama's face on everything like we were 3 years old. Right. Although I wouldn't mind getting me a Biden t-shirt to wear on the show here. Robo P, Michael Popok at Midas Touch. Oh, I don't really watch a lot of that Midas Touch. I know they're good and everything, but they're just usually on when I'm watching other stuff. And if they're on the same time as I'm on, then I don't watch them. Because I just watch me when I'm on. But they're okay. There's something about Midas Touch that rubs me the wrong way with all their advertising, and I think they're just I think they're getting a little greedy. You know, they have millions and millions of subscribers, I think, and views. They're probably bringing in plenty of money without all this extra advertising that they do. It kind of turns me off. Ichabod Deer says, this is the last new Apple MacBook Pro I'm buying. This is my third, and it's total junk, not like the prior two that were great. You know, Ichabod Deer, that makes me hesitate, because I've been wanting to get a MacBook of some sort. And now, if these things are junk, because they're expensive, they ain't cheap. And when you can buy a pretty nice, you know, I don't know, whatever. What else I was looking at? I was looking at some other I want to get a nice laptop. And you know, you can get other ones for. It seems like you can get it for like a third of the price of these MacBooks. But I do like Apple products. I mean, I've got an iPhone, I got an iPad, and I've got an Apple Watch. So I am kind of like an Apple dude, I guess. I've never had a MacBook. I've bought MacBooks for my kids. They have MacBooks, and they always seem to like them. But I'm talking about, like you said, like the other ones that were great. I haven't bought anything for them lately. So I don't know about these new ones. Are the new ones junk now? That's kind of off-putting or kind of sad, because I was thinking about getting a new one. But I don't know. I don't know now. Chris says, we don't put presidents on a pedestal. No, and they used to say the same thing. Like my brother and sister, they're total right-wingers and they're maggots. And even when Obama was president, going back before MAGA, when it was Tea Party, they would accuse me of like worshiping Obama just because I was, you know, listing his accomplishments and or agreeing about stuff that he was talking about. And then they'd be like, oh, you just worship Obama. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm just telling you I agree with what he said. I agree with this speech that he made or whatever, you know. That's not fucking worshiping. And at the 2008 election when Obama won, I was ecstatic, and so many of us were very ecstatic because we had gone through 8 years of Bush, who before Trump was the worst fucking president of our history. And so we were fucking overjoyed and we were ecstatic, not because we're worshiping by Obama, but just because we were so glad to finally be rid of, well, Bush couldn't run again, but to be rid of a Republican being in there, which would have been what, McCain or whatever. So that was what we were so happy about. I mean, we like Obama. We love Obama. I love Obama. I love the guy. I think he's a great guy, a great president. But I don't worship him. I don't deify him. You know, and certainly, you know, could be critical of him in some way. I don't think I was critical of some people here in the chat and some people I've heard in other forums. I think sort of misremembering the times and sort of reinventing the history and thinking that Obama, you know, was too middle of the road or too conservative or whatever. He had to work with the Tea Party. So just think of that. He had to work with John Boehner and all those assholes. So I still give the guy a lot of credit for doing a hell of a job. Brownie. No, that didn't sound right. That didn't sound right. It sounded like I was calling Obama Brownie. That was actually a callback to Bush. So I didn't mean to make that. That almost sounded racist, and I apologize. But my point is, we don't worship. We like, or we can say we love, we like, we appreciate, we're happy that our guy won. Is that okay? Can we be happy with can we show some exuberance or some joy that our guy won after going through 8 years of Bush? You know? Can we just have a little moment of joy here without being accused of, you know, idol worship or, you know, whatever? Anyhow, but that's what they do. Because I don't remember anyone ever saying that Obama was sent by God or that Obama is the second coming of Christ. I don't remember anyone ever saying that. But I've seen videos of maggots saying that about Trump. So it's all projection. It all comes down to projection. Ichabod here, Tim Cook is no Steve Jobs. So that's why you think the quality has gone down, I guess, because Tim Cook, you know, taking over for Steve Jobs, who had the nerve to die on us. Ichabod Deer says, West Webb needs to be reminded daily Obama had a Tea Party, MAGA, GQP House and Senate from 2010 to 2016. Yeah, that's what I've been saying this whole show. Mike McAndrew says, I write Windows apps and server codes, so I love my i7 Windows machines. I can have like 10 podcasts going at once, although I don't do that. So that is what is an i7 Windows machines? Just tell me what a good laptop would be for me to buy to run this show off of. That's all I need to know. I'm not real technical, computer savvy guy. I want to buy, because I was thinking about maybe getting it seemed like the gamer laptops might be the way to go. But I don't know. Just give me some ideas. What should I get? Because I need to get a laptop. I'm running the shows off of an iPad, and I would like to maybe upgrade from an iPad to a nice laptop. Ichabod Deer says Apple phones are better than MacBook Pros. Ichabod Deer, my iPhone never crashes. I like my iPhone. I used to have, way back in the day, the Samsung phone. And I went through the first kind of 3 iterations of that, and they were always crappy. To the point where I just killed them because I hated them. And then I think I finally got an iPhone. I think it was a 7 or something like that. Whatever it was, I bought that. And as soon as I got it, I was like in heaven. I was like, I love this phone. I'm never going back to anything else. And I've been with iPhones ever since. So now I have an iPhone, like it's 14 or whatever it is. Like the Pro Max or whatever. Michael McAndrew, sometimes I'll have a podcast open along with other windows like The Guardian and Democratic Underground and MNBC. You mean Tim Apple, right? Tim Apple. Mad Max says the other difference is Democrats stand up for America, whereas maggots love Russia. Maggots worship a golden statue of Trump too. Yes, they did have a golden. Yeah, totally. MTG rubs the crotch all the time. They bring out the statue. Gross. Yeah, they're just disgusting. They really are disgusting. And they put their party or their existence over the country. They don't care about the country. They just care about themselves and about their power. You know, that's all they care about. They really don't give a fuck about the country. Think about it. Says Tim Apple Cook is too cozy with Xi in China. Maybe just an act, but who cares? I'm not. He has not been creative at the helm. Mad Max says, MacBook, TJ, get the most memory you can afford, like always. So MacBook. I was looking at MacBooks, of course, yeah. Michael McAndrew says, i7 is latest Intel CPU. I'm not sure, but a Mac is good for podcast. Real Bill, I blocked Wes. He started getting smart with my wife. I told him to stop and he wouldn't, so I just blocked him. Like you just now blocked him, just now? Okay. I don't blame you. If someone's getting smart with your wife, I don't blame you. Michael McAndrew says, if you use a lot of iPhone and Apple stuff, then stick with Apple. Yeah, I guess so it all kind of integrates, I guess. Mad Max says, my HP ZBook just updated itself to Windows 11. We'll have to check it out to see how I like it. Ichabod Deer says, I would like an operating system for phones other than Droid and Apple. Midas Kevin Anderson says, Wes is boring. Ichabod Deer says, true. Wes just rehashes the same nonsense daily. I don't hate him though. Okay. All right. So, am I frozen? Oh, no. I just looked down at my screen on iPad and it was frozen, but I guess I'm not frozen up here. Hey, it looks like there's, I can see some Twitch. There's Star Gals over there. That's right. Let me go check out Twitch real quick. Let's see, how are things going over there on Twitch? I do multicast, I guess, is that what you call it? Multi-stream over here on Twitch and Facebook. It says I got 3 viewers over there. Wow, look at there. We got Wonder Mom 72. Of course, Jolie's over there. And Stargal 46. Thank you for being over on the Twitch site. Good to see you. I don't mean to ignore Twitch. I'm always looking at the YouTube one. But on my phone here, through this Prism app, it'll show the Twitch posts and but it's really hard to read because it's like white lettering and I got the white background. I guess I should change my background because it is hard to read on here. But on my iPad, I don't see the Twitch posts unless I actually go into the Twitch site. You know what I mean? But we see Stargals here, 46 over there. Thanks for being here on Twitch. Stargirl says Twitch always gets ignored. Well, I'm warming up to it, you know. Stargirl says, hey, Jolie, how are you? Jolie says, Stargirl, I agree. I wonder why they even bother. Wonder Mom 72 says, I mentioned it to them on the YouTube chat. I was told there's supposed to be a mod, but there never is. So anyhow, okay, now I'm gonna go check out Facebook real quick. And let's see how that's going. Now, Facebook is even worse than Twitch. Like, as far as, like, people watching, it seems like. And it just seems, I mean, it's just weird. I think Facebook is my least favorite because it just seems really clunky. And I'm talking to you, Mark Zuckerberg. You got a clunky deal. Stargal says, House Sparks never ignores his Twitch channel. I'm sorry, Stargal, if I've ignored you guys. See, I have to put my head over here because I can see the chat because my head is the background of the chat. Mike Andrew says, they might have been saying I'll see you, meaning I'll see you later. But anyhow, over here on Facebook, it looks like it's only Jolie. So I'll just say hi to Jolie real quick over here in Facebook. And Facebook is weird. I don't know what the algorithm is or if just everyone hates me at Facebook. Because I have like 300 friends on Facebook. I think followers or whatever they're called on Facebook. And a great many of them are family, actual blood relations, you know, cousins and whatnot. And a lot of them are old schoolmates from high school and stuff. And they don't seem to even give a shit about the old my live stream over there on Facebook. It's weird. Either that or they're just not. It's not popping up in their feed or something. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyhow, let's see. I'm just trying to get this back on YouTube. So, am I back on YouTube? So I'm back on back to Twitch. It looks like. So just looking at Twitch real quick. Wonderbomb 72. That's why we love Hal. Well, I apologize to the Twitchers. Is that what we call them? Twitchers? For not being, for giving you guys the short shrift? Is that what it is? Short shrift? Over there? I don't mean to do that. But anyhow, thanks for everyone who's watching. Whether you're on Twitch, see, I can see this. I can see the chat much better when I'm like that. Michael, well now, but the thing is that it scrolls a lot faster. But thanks for being here. Let's see, for everybody, whether you're Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're seeing this, I appreciate you guys being here. Minus Kevin, nice beard. WW says, laughing out loud, Real Bill is a... Okay, I'm just ignoring that. No, please no name calling. I already earlier said no name calling, and now you're doing name calling, so please don't do that. Or else you're going to get timed out or whatever. Mad Max says, I'm just more cautious. I don't know what that means. It's pretty creepy if you ask me. When you have never talked to someone all before. Michael McAndrews, that does sound creepy. Michael McAndrews says, maybe some immature Nazi trying to scare you. I don't know what that was about. But anyhow, Mad Max Tweakers, Michael McAndrews, it's fun. Not the name calling. Anyhow. Post-it note went over the PC camera too. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Real Bill says, I only use YouTube Premium. I have YouTube Premium, I think, because I don't get commercials. But I do have other accounts. And I just, in full disclosure, I have other accounts. One was for my Feet on the Dashboard. It was a movie I made, a short movie. So I made that channel way back in 2012. I guess I'm trying to say I'm not making like all these like, what do they call it, sock puppet accounts or whatever. I made these accounts specifically for a specific reason. Like, so the Feet on the Dashboard is because of a movie I made, and I wanted to post the movie up there. And then I also have Fowler's Wrath, which is a thing about this game that I've been playing for like forever. It's a race car game, and I thought it would be a place where people from my race car team could meet, but nobody ever does. And so anyhow, that's what those are about. And then I have this channel, and when I started this channel, I think I've been on this thing since like 2008 or something. I've been on here for a long, long time, and I really wasn't trying to do like a live stream or I just basically started the channel because I liked listening, or not, I like watching the videos, and then also it was a place for me to post and kind of like save like kind of like family videos. That's the way I looked at it at first, which is like my family stuff. And then as time went on, then I started making a lot of videos that weren't live streams, just because there wasn't, the live streaming thing wasn't really good. They had come out with a live stream. They call it something else. You can look back. I have some very, 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 very early live streams from like 10 years ago or something. And I tried it out, but it wasn't really working out very good. But I just started making like sort of a series of videos of just trucking life, or things that truckers. It was like a day in the life of truckers. I have a whole bunch of videos like that. And then, but I kind of always wanted to do like live stream show, like a show type of thing. And finally I started doing this, it's been a couple of years now, I guess. So, and I don't know how I got on this subject, but I guess I was just talking about all these different channels. And, the YouTube Premium. So I think I have YouTube Premium, but it seems like it doesn't work on my other two channels. Like, because when I watch videos on those channels, then I have ads pop up. But on this channel, when I watch videos, ads never pop up. Where it has to play and then you can skip and everything. So for some reason, my YouTube Premium, I thought it would count for all my channels, but apparently it doesn't. Let's see, I'm just looking here. AdMax says, you can't skip other text and start questioning text. Further down, TJ Levin out loud, of course it doesn't make sense when you don't start at the start. That's true. I know. But if I didn't skip around, then I would still be like a half hour behind probably. Okay, wait, I see something from Twitch. Oh, that's Jolie saying Sparkler. Well, shout out to Twitch. Thanks. I've got some people on Twitch. That's awesome. Because a lot of times it'll only be Jolie there. And now we've got Stargal and who was the other one? We got 2 or 3 people in there. That's awesome. I think that's awesome. I'm so happy because I like to see these channels grow and my channel grow, and so that one is growing little by little. It's doing way better than Facebook. Facebook over there just crickets. So Jolie's just over there all by her little lonesome on Facebook. So that's kind of sad. Kind of sad. Let's see. Jolie says, I have other accounts from back when YouTube had invisible people. Anyone remember that? I had to make new channels to be seen in chats. I have 4 now. Wow. I never even knew that you had 4 channels. Mad Mac says, I didn't start watching YouTube until COVID. Oh, really? Wow. I thought it was just a bunch of home movies people made. Well, yeah, that kind of what it was. That's kind of what it was like, in the very early, in the aughts when it first started. It was kind of like that. Mad Mac, I don't do Facebook. Mike McAndrews, I wrote my own servers. I stayed away from chats until just recently, and I want to support good people, so I started chatting in a little bit. Well, thank you for doing that. Thanks for chatting and participating and all that good stuff. Oh, but I'm looking at, we've gone over 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes. See, the thing is, the time really does fly. So I'm looking at this Twitch, Wonder Mom 72. I go both ways, Twitch and YouTube. Oh, okay, Chris. Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad to see you over there in Twitch and YouTube, actually. Stargal 46. I like my politics at Trucker John 1. And there's Jolie. They're all sub to you, Trucker John. Awesome. That's awesome, Jolie. West Web. I started YouTube when Hal started broadcasting on WCPT FM. I need to get a new background because it is kind of nice that on the iPhone, through the Prism app, that I can see the other the Twitch app post. Like there, Stargal 46 says Wonder Mom 72 says me too, but I have to put my head there to get that background. So I'm definitely gonna have to change my background to a darker background. And I could just read the chats from here. I don't have to go like this to read the chats. See there? Ask says just checking in. Hi y'all. Hey Ask, I was wondering where you were at, but thanks for being here. Mike McAndrews says I started watching Hal after seeing him on Stephanie's show. But anyhow, so I was just saying we're at 2 hours 16 minutes. Let's see, today's Thursday, so I think I'm going to go ahead and call a close to this show because I am planning on doing an afternoon show. Today's Thursday, right? So, right, look at my calendar here, at my watch. It is Thursday. So, this is when Hal Sparks comes on at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So, for those of you that's been watching for a while, you know this. But just as a reminder, 3 p.m. I like to do a Hal Sparks pre-show warm-up. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Do the warm-ups because, Hal can be, that show can be really sort of physically intensive. And you don't want to go in cold. You want to get warmed up. So I'm going to warm you guys up at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Hit your notification button or whatever, or look for it. 3 p.m. Pacific time. It'll be in the title. It's going to say, and I'm not ashamed of this. I'm shameless, completely shameless. I'm going to put Hal Sparks in the title. It's going to be, here's what it's going to say. I'll tell you right now. It's going to say, Hal Sparks pre-show warm-up with Trucker John. That's what it's going to say, in case you need to look for, if you're looking for a title. That's what it's going to say. And I do that shamelessly, despite what others may say about that. Because I'm doing a pre-show warm-up. It's a warm-up. All right, guys. Hope to see you at 3 p.m. Let's get warmed up, and let's not pull any hammies.